want to launch a show-stopping solo podcast, and one of the first things you need to be doing is you need to make sure that you come up with episode ideas. And in this video, I'm going to tell you how you can do just that. Let's dive into it. So solo podcasting is all leaning on the idea and also your personality. And the reality is, if you don't have a solid idea behind you, the show is just going to be you talking a load of nonsense. So when it comes to solo podcast ideas, you want to make sure you've done your research on this. Don't just dive in and think it's a good idea to just talk about something if you're not sure that the people are actually looking for it. So one of the first places that you to look is actually a website called Answer the Public. Now, Answer the Public searches the most asked questions online across multiple search engines, and then it serves it up in a really cool fashion. It looks a bit like Matrixy and spidery. And what it does is it means that you now have ideas and understandings of what people are actually typing into the search engines. That means that if you can answer those specific questions or things around those questions, you have a higher chance of getting people to listen because one, it will appear in search, and two, you know that people are genuinely interested in those topics. So another great one to do is using Google Incognito mode. So Google Incognito mode will remove all cookies, and then you can go onto there and you can dive into either YouTube or anywhere like Google, and you can start typing in your specific topic and type it in, just write in, for me it'd be podcasting, and it might be podcasting A, podcasting B, podcasting C. All of these things are going to bring up the most searched terms on Google or on YouTube, depending on how you're going to do it. And it's going to bring up recommended searchable titles because these are the things people are looking for. You want to use Incognito because it doesn't have any of your browse history, so it's not going to be tailored to you. It's going to be more broad, which is what you want because you'll get a better understanding. And then the third way that you can find ideas for your solo podcast, if you use YouTube at all, check out TubeBuddy. Okay, TubeBuddy is an awesome accompanying software that goes with YouTube, and it is absolutely great for loads of other things like optimizing it. I use it for my YouTube channel all the time. But one of the beautiful ways about it is it has a video idea, and you can research these ideas and it will give you video ideas around a specific topic, and it will make them worded in a very good way, but it'll also make sure they're searchable. It will only suggest them if there's actually traffic looking at it. So as a podcast, I know we're not on YouTube per se, but realistically, it's the same thing. It's still a search engine. It's still telling us. Now, it also means that I would be recommending you do upload your podcast to YouTube anyway, because it makes sense to have more eyeballs. And if you're creating content, that TubeBuddy has said is a good idea, then it's just an absolute no-brainer. So that's how you're going to be able to come up with a list of potential topics. Write down 10 to 20 of those things you want to cover before you start. Then you're going to be off to the races. If you want to learn how you can create an episode outline for your solo podcast, then click on this video right here where I'll break that down in a bit more detail.